I put this straight so it doesn't fall. So we're doing chemo live. Let some people come back in. How you guys doing? I was nurse. My son's over there. I like the shirt. I had to put my wife's shirt on because when I came to chemo today, they were washing the shirt. So, and I bought this for her, so I do look sexy with the pink headset. So this is basically the chemo room. They have different beds for different, for patients. Some patients, see, just don't want to go away. Ugh, it's pain. So in some chairs you stay an hour, 20 minutes. Like this chair right here, patient. I'll show you my son right there. That's my son right there. That little thing right there, and the one to your left, that's the chemo. That chemo is for 2 hours, and then after that one, they give him another chemo. That's for 2 hours, and then they flush it and they go home. And then he has the same thing tomorrow and Saturday. Then next week he has only one chemo, which lasts 20 hours, but you spend more time outside in the room, in the waiting room that you do in here. But the good thing about it is that last week they gave his markers for the first time, and it went down substantially. They went down from 12 to 4. So that's telling you that the chemo is working. And when his chemo is testicular cancer chemo, the lady just told me that the reason they go so that the numbers goes down quick is because his cancer is very weak when it comes to that chemo, so it doesn't take that chemo. Like some cancer can absorb the chemo and it's kind of hard and they fight it off. His cancer doesn't; it just dies quickly. So that's a good thing because it was at 12, and in 3 weeks it went down to 4. So we're hoping with 4, we're hoping with this it goes down hopefully to 0, and he has one more that he has to do, which another 5 days, and then one that's in 3 weeks, and then hopefully that will just kill it off together. The good thing about this is that this testicular cancer chemo. This testicular cancer has a survival rate of 93%. Yes, you still have that 7%, but 93% is pretty good. The key here is to get caught early. I've seen a lot of people who say they go on surveillance when it's just it hasn't metastasized, it hasn't gone somewhere else, and it's just at your testes. And the doctor says, we can keep your surveillance for a year, whatever the case may be. And some doctors say, we can do chemo for him. Me personally, this is just my opinion. I'm not giving you any medical advice because I'm not a doctor. If I was to have that and they just says it's on your testes and we can give you chemo and get rid of it instead of surveillance, I would do the chemo, because I would do the chemo, do one round, and get that over and done with. I don't have to be going to you every day or every week, whatever the case may be, and get surveillance. And then what if it gets big? So we don't know. So I've heard people who are like that's happened to. But all in all, it's a process. Like I said, last week we did a 1-day chemo. We were in this same hospital. We get home, he gets a fever, and we had to come back to this hospital and stay here for 2 days because his white blood cells were really low. His nephrolis count his absolute nephrolis was down completely. He had none. He was at 0. You have to get those back. You have to get those back up. So, the only thing got me mad was that the same thing they did here, they were doing in the emergency room where we lived at, and they could have just kept us there because I was 5 minutes away from the house. And here, I'm an hour and a half. So that's no fun. But you gotta do what you gotta do for yourself, right? For your kid. You guys have any questions as far as if you guys are going through this, or if you guys are going to go through it? I'm going to be here for a while because I have 4 hours. 4 hours. I got 2 hours. Well, I have maybe like 45 minutes left on this one, and then comes the another 2 hours, and then they just flush you. So I know it's hard on him, and then, when he saw his markers go down and cry, because that's what he wants. That's what everybody wants, right? It's for your markers to go down, because it's for so you know that the cancer is being taken care of. But the key here is to get detected early. My son got detected in June 20 something, and in July, the middle of July, did an operation, and then they started doing his chemo in August. In August, so within a month and a half, we were already doing things. And this is our second. This is our second cycle. Second cycle of 3. Second cycle of 3. Yeah, so it's kind of hard. So, it depends how you take it too. Gotta be a trooper. It ain't easy. No one says it's gonna be easy, but it can be done. And you can do the natural healing way. There's a lot of things that you can do. You could, I could sit here and tell you a lot of things you could do. But I'm not going to do that because there's another platform to do that. How could I do this? I was able to. Anyway. Hi, Jackie. My prayers go to you. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate it. Like I said, so it's not easy, but you can go through it. Like I said, you could do holistic ways too. That's what my wife's trying to do. A lot of people say that they have worked for them, which is great if they work for them. But I like to see evidence that it's worked for them. I like to see them. This is where my husband's markers were at, and look, I've done no chemo. I've done nothing. Look where his markers are right now. That's what I want to see. I just don't want to hear it from your voice. A lot of people doing that, and then when you come to look at it, they're selling something. I'm not saying it's true because a lot of these like sour sop and stuff like that. Oh, it's called rare cancer, Jackie, because it only happens in 9,100 and some odd men. It's testicular cancer. So you discover that you take a shower or you touch your testes and they hurt and you have a hard mass, or your testes starts to hurt, and then you go to the emergency room. They do this endoscopy and they find out that it's a mass, and then you go to the urologist, and the urologist, thank you, I'm IMBA, and the urologist tells you what he or she thinks, and the only way to find out if it is cancerous is that they have to remove that testicle, whether it's your left testicle or your right testicle. It's not like another cancer that you could just do a biopsy and do. This one your testicle has to be removed in order for pathology to confirm whether it's cancerous or not. That's the only way. But all in all, that's why it's rare, because it's only done in 9,100 and some odd men, and out of that, maybe 400 and some odd people pass away because of that. But I don't think it's because they have it. I think it's because it was so late in the game that they discovered they had it, and there probably was nothing they could do. Because once cancer spreads, metastasizes, it's kind of hard to catch up to it. The thing I'm going to give you an example that I learned. See, this is something I learned, and I love science, and I learned this. Like when my son was having the back pain, because it gives you a lot of back pain, and They gave him oxycodone. He was taking oxycodone. So you know how we have a tendency to take our pills. Oh, it don't hurt. Okay, so it don't hurt no more. So I'm not gonna take it. All of a sudden, the pain you get the. Then all of a sudden, you get the pain again. You get the pain. You get the pain again, and then you get the pain. You get the pain again, and then all of a sudden, you take your oxy or you take your meds, and the pain doesn't go away. Why? Because you got to take your medication as prescribed. So if it says take it every 4 hours, you take it every 4 hours. If it says every 6 hours, you take it every 6 hours. Because you want to be on top of that pain. You don't want to play catch up with that. So that's the same thing they try to do with cancer. They try to alert as they detect it as early as possible. So they try to go ahead of it. Never try to go behind it. Try to go ahead of it and stay on top of it. So the doctors, if you got a 30 day supply of any medication.
We'll move to the other side, okay?
Okay. You want to move us? Hold on a minute. They're moving us. Está bien, Jesús.
They're moving me to the back.
All right.
So I'm gonna keep him, but I'm gonna get more patients. So I've got you a better room.
All right.
One with the bed and one with the recliner.
All right. Going to another room. Good, they moved the nurse, so we go to another room.
These offers of money, fair market value, we've even doubled fair market value. He's asking for 10 times what fair market value. So, we might need a that conversation.
Oh, ten cuidado. Oh, we've been here before. Hello. 137.
You'll be back to start your chemo, okay? Let me go grab my stuff.
Thank you. They gave me a recliner. Thank you. Ooh. Good.
You want another blanket?
Sup, Jesus? There he goes. Give him another blanket. Oh, he cold. I'm cold too. See, and that's the chemo right there. Oh. See, no sé ya que no, it's true. But you gotta fight, right? So they moved this. Sí. Ya tú sabes, le tuve que dar bronca a la esposa hoy, porque ella siempre estaba aquí desde que llegamos. Pues entonces la dejé acá, que la dejé en el cuarto allá, y ya me quedé aquí. Pues yo ya me quedé en el cuarto, cansado, ¿entiendes? The good thing is that guys, we here at a hospital in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and sometimes if you can't find it, if you don't have a place, you have to travel far. You can always talk to the hospital caseworker and ask them if they have a place where they house the patient with their family. Some do, some don't. And your insurance, if you have insurance, they pay for it. If you have Medicaid pays for it. And we're at a nice place. It's called Secu Family House. It's SECU. I'm gonna take a video of it before I leave because we have to come back next week anyway. And the rooms are nice. They got kitchens. You can cook there. I mean, it's a really, really, really good place. There was a lot of. I met a woman yesterday, an older lady, who came from Georgia, and this is North Carolina. You know, so like I said, you know, it's not easy. It's easy on the patient. It's easy. I mean, it's not easy on the patient. It's not easy on the parent. You know, when he got sick last week, my wife didn't want to leave his side. You know, he's 21 years old, and the doctor said he's okay. We're just waiting for the growth. We're just waiting for the blood culture to come back to make sure that there's no growth. And she's like, "You don't want to leave?" I said, "Let's go to the hotel." We stayed there. He's in the room. She didn't want to leave. You know, the lioness doesn't want to leave a little cub. He ain't no cub. He's 21. He ain't no cub. But you know, that's the mother for you. You know, so like I said, if you get don't get discouraged if you get that word cancer. Don't get discouraged that it's the last thing. Don't do that. You know, always open your mind to it. You know, leave it all in the hands of God because He's the ultimate decider in everything that happens to you. And you just take it from there. There's not much we can do. You know, this is something that we have to accept that we have. Leave it in His hands. You know, He put doctors in this world for a reason, right? Even back when there were no doctors and you had Indians and they did their own things. They had their own little medications, their own little way. You know, they healed through plants and all that kind of stuff. So they moved you to this side.
Huh?
They moved you to this side.
Yeah. They need help over here, so they moved me.
Oh, okay.
But I moved you to a better room
Well, that is true.
for the inconvenience.
That is true.
It's an hour.
We got an hour to go on this mat, right?
Yeah, 15 minutes to hang it.
So we got an hour in this event, then we got another 2 hours in the other one.
No, the 2 hours is done.
Oh, 2 hours is done, so we just got 1 hour in this. All right.
The one behind you. The first part.
Oh, okay.
The first one. Hey! You remind me of my nephew. Okay. See, I got you into a better room. So all the walking is good. How's the IV? Is it okay? here.
Yeah, I saw. Oh, yeah, yeah. I forgot about those. Let me get them
Yeah, here.
before I forget them. I totally forgot about them.
Yeah, I grabbed them for you.
This is for the etc. This the one. They give me 18.